have this on the wrong setting and it took a snapshot of me, which I don't need any more of those. I'm still beautiful. Okay. I'll tell you what intrigued me to make this video. Yeah, I didn't make a comment the other day, but it's something I saw. Like to go for walks occasionally. I live in a nice suburban neighborhood. Oh, I walked over to my friend, longtime acquaintance, Pete. He lives about, 20 houses down to the left. And there was a couple of guys that had come to his place. They're always doing things. And I believe it was a 1988 Chevrolet extended cab full-size pickup. That had the 350 V8 in it. And I kept my mouth shut, because, people don't, when they don't have knowledge of engine designs, they will only want you to stand there and be their college professor and explain to them exactly why something is not right. And no, to random people, I'm not going to waste my time, because it's not my job to educate people that don't know about things, mechanical things. But, they were doing a tune-up. They had changed the spark plugs and the spark plug wire. And then he gets out this timing light. And I just asked him, I said, hey, how many miles are on that truck? And he said, oh, it's got 190,000 miles on it. It still runs good. And I'm like, man, that's great. You need to hang on to it, But the timing light, when I saw him get out a timing light, I thought, oh man, what a dumbass, because, see, in that situation, for him to use the timing light, he was just making a dumbass fool out of himself. He was just making a fool out of himself. Because people, the central engine cams that were in the middle of the engine, the cam was directly above the crankshaft. You had push rods, the push rod engine with your hydraulic lifters. Do you know, once those were brand new, factory new engines, or unless you change both your timing gears and your timing chain, do you know to use if that engine has anything over what would be 30,000 miles, to use a timing light, you're only making a fool out of yourself. You're making a fool out of yourself. Because on any engine, the Ford line, the Mopar line, the General Motors line, of any central cam engine, that were made up to, most vehicles about 1990, full-size vehicles. Now, I've got a 1998 Dodge Ram, has the 318 V8. It still has the central cam, in it. God bless. I'm so proud about it. It has 182,000 miles on it. It still runs good, but you know what? A timing light, if I was changing my plugs or felt I needed to time that engine, if someone said a timing light down there, I'd be, get that timing light out of here. I would laugh about it. Here's the reason why. Once they have 30,000 miles at least, a timing light, if you use that, you know, the mark by your harmonic balancer, and some down by there, they have a little piece of metal, you know, to gauge width of the degrees. It's stupid. It's stupid. Because, see, that timing chain has more slack in it than when that engine was freshly built. It has more slack. So the timing is going to be wrong. It's going to be wrong. It's as simple as that. It's going to be wrong. Like if I need to time my Dodge Ram, the way I would do that is by hand with the engine running, that distributor, I would advance it as high as I could, you know, to where it ran the best. The engine would idle higher the further I advanced it. And I get it to where it ran its very best by advancing it as the idle raised up. Alright. When it ran its very best, I would snug the distributor bolt down. I would drive it around the block. And if there was spark knock, I'd come back and retard it a little bit more. And snug that down. And then I'd drive it around the block. If there was spark knock again, like the engine clatters, I'd retard it a little bit more. And whenever it didn't have the spark knock clatter, when I drove around the block, accelerated it, then I would tighten the bolt down tight and lock it into place. Because, see, that would be the accurate timing for that engine. It would be totally accurate because it would be timed based on the wear in the timing chain and the timing gears. Because once those type engines up to around 1990 and some longer, like on my Dodge Ram, the 318, they use those up until 2003. You have the central located cam. But once they have over 30,000 miles, don't use a timing light because it's guaranteed your timing is not going to be right if you do that. So, you know, you're going to have to hand time that engine to get it accurate. It's the only way you're going to get that accurate. But see, any engine, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I explained this on Evolution Harley engines. You know, and even shovelhead Harley engines. In another one of my videos, one of them is called Harley Evo engine timing, the proper way to do it. Even with electronic ignition, the same thing is still going to apply. You advance one as far as you can to where it runs the highest, to where that when you take off and you rev it, there's no engine clatter or spark knock. That's perfect. That is perfect timing right there. Because that's the way engines are made. To be advanced as far as they can, yet only be retarded down enough to where the engine doesn't knock when you accelerate it with the vehicle in gear. That's the way all engines are designed, whether they're electronic or the older points ignition, they're still designed like that. So in an engine like my Dodge Ram, if they used in the full-size trucks up to 2003, or any of the older vehicles, you know, or even an older Harley. If you use a timing light, you're only making a monkey's jackass out of yourself because you're going to be running an engine that the timing isn't right, and it's going to cause premature wear on your valve bases, for one thing. It's going to cause sludge because the firing will not be quick enough, or the firing will be too soon, one or the other. It's not going to be accurate. Because think about it. That timing chain wore a little, and those cam gears that are on there, you know those are going to wear down some in that first 30,000 miles. And you know, the best way to check for slack in a timing chain, okay, the bolts down by your crankshaft pulley. Get a good size socket and a torque wrench, and you might have to have a pipe so it goes up higher. And you know, with the transmission in neutral, rock it back and forth, and you can tell how much slack is in a timing chain, well, by doing that in an older vehicle. And if you can rock, you know, that torque wrench, let's say, back, or you could do it from underneath, let's say back 2 full inches or forward 2 inches, that timing chain has a hell of a lot of slack. It shouldn't be able to do that for more than maybe an inch, at the most, you know, to be within reason. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to, you know, it's terrible, but, you know, I talked to Pete for a while, and those guys use that timing light, you know, and I thought, God, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. You know, they're going to be running a vehicle now that the timing is not right. You know, sometimes specifications go out the door. They need to be thrown out the door. It's when it applies. When it applies. Like, if you changed your cam timing gear and your timing chain on a central cam engine, okay, then a timing light would be alright. But if it's been a good 30,000 miles, you're just making an ass out of yourself. But anyway, this is a short video, but it's to help people understand, you know, some things, you know, about realities, you know, about automotive, mechanical, you know, is to where a tech shop, they can babble all day long. But it's not going to make me any difference. It's wear and tear I'm going to take into consideration of anything. When it's not any longer new after a while, a lot of those specs you just throw out the window, man. But anyway, I hope you're all having a great day or night. I know this much. Boy, here in Houston, it's so cold, man. It got down to 22 last night. Yeah, I cut my water off and drained it and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, later.